GOGI, GOGI, your go-tos, real lessons to live by.
Hi, everyone. I am GOGI Mom Carolyn, and this is a special GOGI event that you are not going to want to miss. I will hand it over to Coach Taylor.
I'm so happy that we are again here as we do 2 times a month. And these meetings are actually specific to the GOGI core leadership, those peoples that are engaged in advancing the GOGI cause from GOGI headquarters every day. And then we get to interview individuals who are now home and willing to share their GOGI journey. So today we have Coach Robert, who's actually not just a returned home GOGI coach, but he's also working in our GOGI mailroom. So we want to welcome home, Robert. I mean, you've done so many things since you've gotten home that it's hard to think that you haven't been home always.
Yeah, it's been a journey. Just yesterday, I had a meeting with Amity, and because somebody referred me. I met this person named Yvonne Reese, and she's involved in the community. And I shared with her my story and my interest in what I'm pursuing, which is alcohol and drug counseling certification. And so she goes, "Oh, is that right? Well, I know some people that can help you with that." So she referred me to Amity, and I talked to the guy, and from there we made the appointment. And yesterday I went for the orientation, and I ended up walking out there. I already signed up for college. And I actually got the letter of acceptance already. And so I started in February in East LA College.
Let me ask you this, Coach Robert. How long ago was it that this was not even in your thought that this was possible? How long ago was it that this was not possible? It was never going to happen. You didn't have a hope. You didn't have a path. At some point, there wasn't this vision of your life. And I ask that because there are a lot of people who are watching us now who really don't have the vision for their life. They say, well, but I can never do it. And I just want to get your take on it. How long ago was it that you were sitting in a cell thinking, well, this is kind of it?
Well, I got arrested in 1984, and I came to prison in 1986 with a life sentence. And as I met guys on the yard, and they asked me, how much time do you have? I go 25 to life. They go, so you know what? Welcome home. This is going to be your home. You're going to die here. And and I heard it so many times that I really believed it, and so I just continue engaging in the same criminal behaviors that led me to prison. And for a long time, that was my mentality. I'm not getting out. So why, when there were opportunities to change, it was like, why change? There's nothing to change. I'm good where I'm at. I mean, and for years, I had that mentality until finally, finding myself in the shoe and waking up every day to the same thing over and over. And I know I was miserable, and for a long time I was okay with it. But finally I came to a point where, you know what, man, this is the only thing that I got to look forward to. I want something else with my life. And it is then when I made the choice, because it was already in my head that I wanted to make changes in my life, but I was afraid. I was afraid of who I would be without the gang, of who I would be without that moniker that I had built up and put so much time and energy. And so I was afraid to leave that behind, and not knowing what was on the other side. And but finally, when I made that choice, and things started going well for me, and I got to a point in my life where everything was going well, I started reflecting, go, man, you know what? Why was I so afraid of this, man? Making these changes, having make these changes in my life, and having all this beautiful things happening besides the instant gratification that I was getting at the time, which it was short-lived, and what's next. And today, the things that I was gaining, they were no. Then it made me made me happy. I was content, and it gave me, and I had a sense of purpose. But I have to say that when I first met Coach Taylor in 2017, I remember before she came to High Desert, they was talking, hey, Gogi's coming, Gogi's, and go, what's Gogi? And nobody goes, I don't know. Nobody knew what Gogi was. I guess we're gonna find out. And so finally, that day came where Coach Taylor gave us the presentation and told us all about Gogi. I remember her talking about ultimate internal freedom and ultimate freedom, and I said to myself, well, you know what? I don't know what that would look like or feel like. The only thing I know is that that I do want to continue making more positive decisions. So I focus on that. And moving forward, man, today I understand what Coach Taylor was talking about, the internal and ultimate freedom, because now I know how it feels and what it looks like, and I'm living it.
Awesome. I love hearing that. So tell me, from the moment you said, no, you're in shoe or wherever at that point, and you say, no, I'm going to do it differently, and you start to make the changes, from that moment when you make a commitment to think about a different life, how long did that take? What was that? I don't know. What was that like?
Well, I mean, that change, the decision that I made was in 2014.
I see.
Yeah, I went into, I participated in the step down program that was available to the SHU inmates. They gave us an opportunity to get out of to general population. And I remember at first I turned it down, but then I changed my mind. I do what that I gotta do something. That's when I started thinking, you know what? And plus, at the time, my girlfriend she was on me. Hey man, what's wrong with you? Did you have an opportunity to get out the SHU and us be together and you be with your family, but you rather be with your buddies? And that's what like clicked. Like, you know what? She's right. You know what? I'm gonna go for it, and what happens happens. And so I ended up getting out. Because I participated in the step down program, I was released to general population in 2015. That's when I went to High Desert, and I remember going to board in December 2016, and I got denied 5 years because I lacked insight. I still had criminal thinking. I was not forthcoming. It was just all bad. And at that time, I was like blaming the commissioners. You know what, man? They don't want to let me out. So why do all this? But you know what? No, that was just me. But then I kind of had a time to reflect, and I told him, you know what? No, there's something there, and I was determined to look into what they were telling me to do. I go, I'm gonna check it out, because I didn't know. There was things about, they were telling me about CGA, that you need this, and I did not know the language they were speaking. That was all that stuff was foreign.
Right.
Finally, when I met you, then moment I started making those positive decisions, more positive decisions. And I remember that I ended up going to committee, and the captain, he remembered me from this graduation, from that I made a speech. I spoke to the class, and he liked my speech, so he remembered me, and he gave me the opportunity to go to get an override to Ironwood, to a level 3, which I never in my dreams thought that I would see a level 3, because I still had like 140 something points. But I remember getting on that bus to Ironwood, and I said to myself, you know what? Right here is a clean what was the word I'm thinking about? A slate. Yes. And so that day, I happened to, when I got to Ironwood, I happened to befriend a couple guys that were, well, one of them's Edwin Paragas. Maybe Coach Danny knows him, but he became a mentor, a friend, somebody that guided me. I met not only him, but other guys that actually, embraced me and helped me out. I remember going to one of the group meetings, a volunteer meetings, and there was 5 of us. And one of the guys the guys were talking all this self-help, and I was like, what are these guys talking about? And so I felt awkward. I felt out of place, but I knew that this was the guys that I needed to hang around and be with. And I'm glad that I made that choice because of the guidance, the mentorship that I received from them. I'm home today.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing, is that fear that you're going to be in a room and people are going to be talking about weird things and saying GOGI and CGA, and it's all a different language. But finding even just one person who can support you sometimes is all it takes. So in our time together, what I love to do is I love to have our group of leaders, GOGI Mom, me, Coach Johnny, Stacy, and Coach James, ask you some questions that they think the viewers might want to hear. So let's start with our friend Stacy. Stacy, you have not met Coach Robert, but just from what you're hearing, what kind of questions do you think that a viewer might want to hear from him?
First of all, welcome home, Coach Robert. I actually, maybe it's a 2-part question, or it's 2 questions, but so when you first, I just got your date and knew you were gonna get out and when you were gonna get out, what kinds of fears and anxieties maybe went through your thoughts, and what GOGI tools did you use to kind of work through it? And then I guess the second half is, or maybe it's a separate question. I'm sorry. I'm just curious about them both. But, and then was there anything, I guess I would imagine that you'd have these big thoughts about what it's going to be like once you get out. Was there anything that was maybe disappointing compared to what you thought it would be, and what GOGI tools are you using to kind of work through that?
Oh, definitely. Well, when I first heard the words, Mr. Gomez, we find you suitable, man, I broke down because I never thought I would hear those words. In my mind, I pictured them, but once I heard them, it was like the real thing. And I was like, man, like I said, I broke down, and man, it just it was just a beautiful thing to hear those words. And as far as the thoughts that came about, my fears, well, there was a lot, because being in prison for 38 years, and it was clear to me that life had changed just from the stories that I have heard and people sharing. So I go, man. So I was like, I was wondering what it would be like going out there and meeting with my family and meeting other people. Was I gonna be accepted, embraced? I knew that my family, some friends that I have, that I already had on the streets, that I was like getting embraced. But how would that, apart from them, what about the other people? Was I going to be rejected, pushed aside, looked down upon? And so that was one of my fears. No. But one of the things that I was able to not stress over was do a lot of belly breathing. The belly breathing was one of the tools that I used a lot, used then and I use today. And also about my brain, is about processing everything that's going on, and accepting that things are going to be what they are, and I just have to be wait until I get there and start dealing with whatever comes my way instead of stressing on what it would be, because I don't have no control over that. I only have control of of the things that I'm able to do at the moment. And but to my surprise, coming out now, I found that, man, there's a lot of people, a lot of good people that are willing to help you, to give you a helping hand, to guide you. And man, I didn't think that I had heard about all this, the resources, but I didn't think it was going to be the way things have been going to present. Because I have gotten a lot of help. A lot of people that don't even know me have reached out, and that's why today I'm already enrolled in college, because somebody that I met on Facebook reached out to me, and this person, you or Coach Taylor might know her. Name's Yvonne Reese, Valeri, something like that.
Yep.
Yeah,
She's a old time Gogi.
yeah. So she reached out to me, and I told her a little bit about myself, my interests, and she goes, "Oh, is that right? Well, you know what? I can help you." So she referred me to Richard. What's his name? Ricardo. I can't think of his last name right now. But and because of that, man, like I said, I'm enrolled in college, but yeah, so many good things that have been going on. When I first got to the house, one of the guys that lives here, Nam, man, he was very helpful. I mean, he took me here, he took me there, he gave me a lot of advice. He even got me a part-time job, and also, man, it was man, I just feel blessed. But I got to say that one of the things that was a little bit too much for me, well, not a little bit, it was a lot, where I was overwhelmed. It's all the information that was just coming at me. You need this, well, they need to do that, you need to go here, and it was just too much. And at that time, I had to again use belly breathing and start processing things. Okay, you know what? I gotta refocus and just prioritize. Start with the little things. Get my documents, and then baby steps, because it was just at first it was just too much, and I was overwhelmed.
Stacy, do you have any more questions? Did you get your questions answered?
Yeah, thank you, Robert. That was great. I appreciate it.
No, thank you. Thank you for the question.
So let's ask Coach James. Coach James, what do you think that the audience is going to want to hear from him?
Thank you, Coach Taylor, and welcome home, Coach Robert.
Thank you.
Did an excellent video, and when you facilitated on Tuesday, it was amazing. I wouldn't miss this. I wouldn't miss this seat getting to hear you tell your story. What I was wondering is, like when you first started to maybe familiarize yourself with the GOGI calendar, how that was different from other things, and how that relates to relapse prevention, like living your life on calendar.
Well, when I first started with I got introduced to the because that was one of the main GOGI was one of the main groups that I got into. And then when I went to Ironwood, that's when I had the CGA and NA and Lifers Group and all these other groups that were available. And for me, having the GOGI schedule was, for me, it was a lot more. It was more helpful that I could lean to, because it was, as the tools were simple to learn, and to, well, I wouldn't say easy to apply, because it takes practice, the repetition, and but that's what helped me a lot, doing the repetition, and that's the beauty of going by the calendar, because as you go through go through the 12 tools, and you go back to them, and you keep practicing, and soon enough, you have, at least I internalized them, and that helped me more than the other groups. Of course, GOGI opened the door for me to be more open to all this, to all the other groups that also helped me to come home. But GOGI was the center of my rehabilitation, because wherever I went, especially when I was in the long-term offender program, better known as LTOP, that's all I talked about, GOGI. When they presented one of the tools that they were talking about, oh man, that's 5-second light switch right there. Oh, that's belly breathing. and they were like, hey, please, man, stay with the curriculum, because I will go off on GOGI. But yeah, GOGI thing, the calendar, it was very helpful, and that kept me on course, because like I said, the repetition of it, and just it was a group of us that were in Ironwood that we were doing GOGI. At first, it was just a small group, and we would always see each other in the yard, and we just be like, hey, GOGI for life. What's the tool of the week? And we just taste each other like that, and so that helped me to like I said, to internalize the tools, and to apply them on a daily basis. I don't
Beautiful.
know
Coach James, do you have any more questions? And then we'll go over to Coach Johnny.
No, I think he's, I mean, Coach Robert, your story's my story, brother. Like I so much identify with what's going on, and I'm just glad to be here in this space with you. Welcome home, and with, anytime, you can hit me up.
All right, thank you.
Anytime.
Appreciate it, Coach James.
Coach Johnny, what
Uh-oh.
do you think the audience is going to want to know about Robert or hear from Robert?
So I had the honor to actually meet Robert when I went back into Ironwood. Same thing as I did with Coach James. And just see his involvement and his commitment. A lot of people think all I need to do is get out of prison. And what they don't understand is there's things out here that we're totally unaware of. So to be able not just to memorize 12 tools to go to board, but to start identifying ways to use them is really important. So like I said, I had the opportunity to go in and meet Coach Robert. And I'm sure this will happen for you too, that you're going to be able to go back into prisons once again. And when you do, what is something that you want to share with the men and maybe women that are in prison that you think could be helpful? Something you didn't know why you're in there, but something that you think can be useful for them, not just to get out of prison, but to be successful.
Yeah, good question. I think one of the main things is that I see there's a problem in prison is that the fear of change, the fear of what others might think of you if you change, and for me, that held me back for a long time, and in my years, now once I made the transition in my rehabilitation, I was able to see the pattern, not just me but in others. There's that fear, and so but you know what? There's nothing to fear, because being a positive individual, doing the right thing, and living a healthy life, it's beautiful. The benefits are amazing. And so that I would tell them not to be afraid to take that step forward, and to take a chance, and just like I took that chance, and I was able to look back and look and say to myself, why was I so afraid? What took me so long? And so I'm 58 years old, and it took me a long time to finally get it. And so there's a lot of young men out there that one thing that I would share with them, that there's an abundance. Well, today there's an opportunity to there's all kinds of programs to make those changes in your life, and to take advantage of them, and not wait until you're 58 years old to want to make changes in your life. Do it now while you're still young, and and be able to get out there and be with your family, be a productive citizen in your community, and actually be a decent human being. So that's what I would tell them, not to be afraid. And also there's a lot of peer pressure about, oh man, what is this guy's thing? So man, no, just to believe in themselves and forget what anybody else thinks about them.
One thing too that I wanted to share is that some people may not know, but like when we're in prison, we go to a bunch of groups, and that doesn't need to stop when you get out here. The people you see on the screen are part of a community of people who support not just the GOGI family, but whoever wants to be a part of the family. If you're sitting in prison today and you're like, man, I want to get my family involved, there's a way to contact GOGI. We have a GOGI meeting every Tuesday night at 6 o'clock on Zoom. You can have your families join, and it gives them an opportunity to kind of like what Robert was talking about in the beginning, is to learn the language, identify tools so that you guys are speaking the same language, not just while you're in there, but when you get out. Relationships and working with family and other people at work. It's an opportunity to learn a new language, which is GOGI, and use some tools and build upon that, the relationships that you have in there. So invite your families to the Zoom meetings out here, and it's a great way to connect.
Yeah, and I would like to add that, talking to different individuals and talking about tools, and I would ask them, what tools do you use to stay positive? And like guys, well, you know what? I don't really have any tools. I go, you gotta have tools, because are you getting in trouble into fights? No. So what are you actually doing to avoid getting into trouble, getting 115s, and because you have tools, you're using them, and at first, you know what? And then when we get into the GOGI tools, talking about the GOGI tools, what they are, how they work, and they start saying, well, oh man, you know what? I actually had been using GOGI and I didn't even know it. I go, man, I'm telling you, you guys have been using tools. You just didn't have a name for them, a label for them, but you guys have tools. And so they're like, oh man, they get it, So now they're able to identify, and I've been doing belly breathing, 5-second light switch. So they get more into it like that.
Beautiful. I love hearing that. Coach Johnny, do you have any other questions before we go to GOGI Mom?
No, just be ready for work tomorrow at the mailroom.
Yeah, we're gonna have him talk a little bit about, after GOGI Mom. I'd like you, Coach Robert, to talk about your mailroom experience and what it's like. And when somebody sends us a letter, I don't think they know just how many letters we get and what we're doing. I want you to talk about that. But GOGI Mom, what kind of questions, if you were to give Robert some idea on, what do you think somebody might want to know if they're just reaching out or afraid to make changes? What do you think Robert can share with them? What questions do you have?
Thank you, Coach Taylor. And again, welcome, Coach Robert. I'm just pleased that you're out. My first very short question is, how long have you been out?
I've been out a month and maybe a week.
That's amazing. The things that you have done just with our Power Up group. You have done the video that I post on TikTok, I post on Instagram, and I post on the GOGI Facebook page. You did that, and you did it excellent.
Thank you.
Kind of voluntold you that you would like to be the facilitator for last Tuesday's meeting, and you just took that on like you're just a pro. But now I understand that in prison you were facilitating. So
right.
Out here, and I remember you asking me before we did, how many people are going to be there? What are you going to be like? I'm a little nervous about it. And I said, we're all friends. We are all friendly. Help you. And so that kind of goes over, I think, that everyone who's watching this, when you first started with GOGI, did you start just like with a book and your own self in your own cell? Is that kind of how you started, or did you start with a group meeting in prison?
No, actually, after Coach Taylor, gave us the introduction to GOGI, there was a G rep there that that we started having the GOGI meetings, and so we started doing the workbooks, and thereafter we started having groups in the buildings, the day rooms, and being that I was one of the guys that was in GOGI, I was given the okay to go from section to section and pass out books and and just reach out to some of the guys and let them know what GOGI was about. And at least what I have learned so far about GOGI, I was sharing it with them. And so, yes, that's how we got started with, I was involved in group meetings, in GOGI meetings.
Do you have another question, GOGI Mom?
Yes, I do. I think Coach Robert, you also mentioned to me that you felt like you knew me because you had seen me on the institutional television.
Oh, yes. I remember seeing you. I thought, okay, let's go GOGI Mom. I remember Coach Taylor, and I think I don't know if it's G. Ray, Robert, and there was a whole bunch of people that I had the pleasure to meet on not last Friday, but when I volunteered for the mailroom. So I met some of the guys that I had really had saw on the videos.
I'm so happy because I just think that these videos do so much good. And for the people inside, they'll see some of us, they'll say, oh, they look like okay people. And they can tell their relatives too, their friends, that all they need to do is to get on GOGI on www.gettingoutbygoingin.org, and anybody can join our group. And I joined because my son was in prison. My son is Coach James on this screen with us. And this has been, GOGI has really helped me in my life. And I'm just still so proud of you, Robert. I think it's just wonderful, and welcome home again.
Thank you, Coach Ma.
Robert, can you tell us a little bit about what your first day in the mailroom was like? And if you were to mail us a letter, which you did plenty of times from Ironwood or from High Desert to the GOGI mailroom, what did you think? And then what is the reality now that you're there every Friday?
Yeah. Well, at first, in my mind, I thought that I was gonna go to an office and they had we got the mail and handle all that. And then as Justin was driving through the houses, and I was like, man, well, where's the office building? And then we pulled up to the house and saw that, oh man. And when I walked in the room and I saw everybody with all the mail and other guys go, Coach Patrick and the other guys, going through the mail, I go, oh man, so this is the operation here, huh? And then everybody was real, give me a warm welcome, and man, it was amazing. And you cooked breakfast for us, which was I was not expecting that, but thank you. The breakfast was delicious, and yeah, but like you said, many times I wrote the mail room and I got responses, and there was times where guys would ask me, hey man, I wrote the GOGI, I haven't got a response, and I go, well, you know what, I don't know, man, sometimes it takes a little while, so just be patient. And so actually being there in the mailroom and seeing it, I go, oh, I see why. It's a process for the volunteers to reach out to the people in prison, because it's a small group of volunteers doing this amazing work with an abundance of mail and books everywhere. So man, at first I didn't really well, I can appreciate all the hard work that you, Coach Taylor, you and all other volunteers are doing and have done, because it's man, I know it's just mind blowing the kind of work that is being done in a small room. Yeah. I mean, it was like, it's mind blowing. And but I remember going over some of the letters and man, and it was just amazing to read some of these letters and And I remember one of the guys was, no, it was like, it was hard for me to follow because he was like asking for a lot of questions. So I could see how difficult it's for the volunteers to answer each and every question, because there's an abundance of mail to answer. So man, and then one thing that that blew my mind was when I was doing the tags for the addresses, the return addresses for the coaches. I was going to doing putting the addresses on the envelope and crossing names out, and then all of a sudden I see my name, Robert Gomez Parole. Oh man, I remember I had to take a picture of that. It was a reinforcement that I was actually free and in the mail room, rubbing shoulders with Coach Taylor, with Johnny, and everybody.
Really, really
It was an amazing
wonderful.
experience. I loved it.
Yes, I love hearing that. We're going to do a quick round robin. Stacy, I'd like you to just give a shout out to the people who are watching this. What message do you want to share with the viewers?
Well, I want to say, in regards to getting your family members in, joining the group and using the tools. These GOGI tools they're not just for, people in prison and people coming out of prison. These are just great tools for life, really. And, so if you have a job, work, it's great for getting through the bumps of the day. If you have a kid, really good. It's for me, it's kind of really changed my relationship with my now teenage daughter for the better. And we're both on a much better track than we were before I started using these tools. So, I do urge you to have your family and friends come on to these Zoom meetings on Tuesday nights and just see what it's all about. And get them to start using these tools. They're for everybody.
Beautiful. Coach Robert, what is a couple of sentences you'd like to leave as a message to our viewers?
I would like to say that the GOGI Live tools are amazing. They work. The main thing is to be consistent. Apply them, and in time, man, before you know it, you're gonna internalize them, and you're gonna be talking GOGI. And yeah, so yeah, they're just beautiful tools that they work. They're simple, but I mean, these are tools that anybody can learn, from kids to adults to elderly. It doesn't matter. You can learn them, and they can help you. And they help me, and they can help anybody.
Are you bilingual, Coach Robert?
Yes.
Can you kind of say that in Spanish for our many, we have thousands of Spanish speaking students. Would you mind just giving a shout out to them?
Hola, les quiero decir que GOGI, las herramientas de GOGI trabajan. Si la cosa es ser persistente y aplicarlas, y eventualmente uno las va a sentir en el corazón y poder hablar GOGI en todo. Y nomás sigan, apréndelas, y estas herramientas, los niños las pueden aprender, hasta los adultos, hasta ancianos, no importa, trabajan para todos. So, que sigan a GOGI.
Beautiful, thank you. Coach James, what is a shout out you'd like to share with our viewers?
I would like to say that when you start to learn the 12 tools of GOGI, that anything is possible. One of my favorite tools is the GOGI tool, What If? And when you start thinking, like, what if the best case scenario can happen? It's happening time and time again where we're getting out and it's better than you could ever expect it could ever be. And so I've really wanted to echo what Coach Robert said is don't be afraid to take a chance and invest in yourself. Getting out by going in, like he emphasized, you already have these tools. You know how these tools work, you know what's right from wrong. And let's just start making our next choice a positive choice. Right?
There you go.
That's just make the next choice a positive choice. And when we start doing that, positive things start to happen. I'm so honored to have met you, Coach Robert. Thank you, Coach Johnny. You came and seen both of us in prison. Yes, this is my mom, GOGI Mom Carolyn. Stacy is a lifelong friend of mine, and Coach Taylor always had my back. I know she's got your back. It's like living the GOGI way is a beautiful thing. My first street tattoo was the GOGI logo.
Go ahead. There you go. That's it.
Oh, there you go.
GOGI Mom. Yes, that's for sure. GOGI Mom, what would you like the audience to hear, know, feel, or understand?
Well, I don't know if everyone understands that there are a lot of books and workbooks. And so if a person is a little bit hesitant about going to a group or worried about somebody in the group thinking something of them, just get a hold of one of those books, take it in your cell and read it. I've got some of the books here. I'm working through the books. I'm at my own home, but I just had to laugh. The GOGI mailroom sent me a completion, a certificate, and then they sent me another book. And on the outside of the envelope in big letters, it said, in-cell education. Oh, I wonder what the guy at the post office thinks about that, because he knows me when I come. I have a small business, and when I come into mail, he calls me Karen. But anyway, he knows I'm Carolyn with Carolyn's Creations. And I just thought, wonder what Carolyn Rolberg got in-cell education. But just take a book and just start reading one page at a time. That's what I'd like to say.
That's right.
Well, my shout out would be to thank this team for actually joining us tonight and sharing their thoughts and opening up their hearts to those that are watching the video. And for everybody who is watching the video, you are far more important to this world than you could possibly imagine. Every thought that you have is a vibration that goes out into the world. Every feeling that you feel, we feel it too. So to the extent that you can channel your energy so that your radio signal is possible, we are here to support you with the GOGI Life tools to make that possible. You are important. We appreciate you. We have more confidence in you than you probably have in yourself. And please learn your GOGI tools so you can build the confidence. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye. GOGI for life.
Bye.
GOGI pledge?
Yes, let's do it. GOGI Mom, you lead it.
Uh-oh. Okay, here we go. Me and my
Okay.
All right. May our commitment
May
our commitment
to the study of GOGI
to the study of
the
GOGI
study of GOGI
grant us the joy
grant
grant us the joy
of giving and receiving,
of
giving
giving and receiving,
so that our inner freedom
so that
so that our inner freedom
may be of maximum service
may be of maximum service
to those we love
to those we
Those
we
love
love
and infinite.
infinite others.
and infinite others.
and infinite others. Woo-hoo!
Thank you.
GOGI for life.
GOGI for life.
Totally. Goodbye, everybody.
G-O-G-I. GOGI told me this, I got to do it.